The long-awaited part 2 of Jujutsu Kaisen we've all been waiting for. This is Jujutsu No Kaisen Chapter 1 Part 2. Unfortunately, this isn't Gege Akutami's JJK Part 2. Fuck it, we ball. Plus, I'll take what I can get. Part 1 came out a little over 3 months ago, and it ended with the Lightning Lord revealing his true form, which I wouldn't call that his true form. I would just say that is the form when he uses his curse technique. Anyways, he overwhelms the King of Curses with a big blast, or so he thought. The King of Curses actually absorbed the energy with his little mouth belly, or as I like to call it, the south mouth. Now, before we begin looking at part 2 of this chapter, I'd like to remind everyone that this was created in order to fix Gege Akutami's Jujutsu Kaisen. And we all know what that means, right? That he is just riding the clout of bringing Gojo back. But for all those people who were hopeful or hyped them up to create this, how are you feeling now? This chapter is any indication of what's to come, I wouldn't be so stoked on Gojo's return. Now, this is not a personal attack, nor do I think any of y'all should be personally attacking this person on Twitter. At the end of the day, it's still just a fan-made story. Part 2 starts off with Yuji, and the art here doesn't look all that bad of Yuji in his side profile. Now, Yuji saying a strange mouth appeared on his belly and sucked in that immense power. It is a new ability he has never used before. Or could it be, I don't believe Yuji would have any idea of Sukuna continuing his reincarnation into his vessel to bring back his original Heian era form. Yuji's also aware of Sukuna summoning a little mouth on his cheek or hand or something like that, so he would most likely assume it's that, but to his credit, that mouth looks a hell of a lot different than the mouth Gege Akutami draws. The way he drew Kashimo here looks like a cockeyed haunter from Pokemon, but he says, I believe the fair fight is about to begin now. In Gege's original work, Kashimo was basically sipping the tip of Sukuna from like the jump. In lieu of Kashimo sipping the tip, he actually believes it's a fair fight here. Okay, moving on. So we get the nastiest looking back shots I've ever seen from Sukuna. And it's kind of weird that his arms are growing out of his back, but then they shoot out of his side. And I've never seen Ben 10, but I'm pretty sure this is a like Ben 10 image right here. Oh my god, look at Sukuna's hand in this image though. Take my strong hand, head ass. Boy, this guy is pretty fond of that glow effect, huh? Oh shit. Here we go. Sukuna, the enchanted blade wielder of Tobi Mune from Kagurabachi. Kashimo versus Sukuna, both in their true forms. Doubling down on that being Kashimo's true form. What a powerful demonic force emanates from him. I will launch a direct attack with all my strength to end this quickly. First off, I don't know if this guy has ever heard of Show Don't Tell, because he kind of like narrates or has the characters narrating what they're gonna do when it's a simple action panel that he can illustrate. I'm not much of an art snob, you know, as long as I could tell what's going on, you know, portray the action and all that, won't complain. But man, a lot of the stuff in these first 2 parts have been just odd and riddled with issues. Okay, so Kashimo crashing out, charges Sukuna. Sukuna does catch Kashimo's attack, tells him don't overstep. Now, he is just memeing the piss out of Kashimo here with this panel of him screaming. But we see Sukuna in his chubby ass little hand. Well, we see a fist turn into a hand and then he cleaves Kashimo. Let me get this straight. Kashimo charges at Sukuna. Sukuna catches him, cleaves him on the chest. Well, actually, he just cleaves him on the shirt. Sukuna grabs Kashimo's face, slams him into the ground, and then jumps in the air. This looks kind of like Jogo jumping down on Gojo back in season 1, and Sukuna comes landing down on Kashimo. What's up with him and Kashimo's tongue though? And this also looks like Pegasus turning Kashimo into a toon character in Yu-Gi-Oh! Sukuna says, how pathetic you are. That's why I'll end this quickly. I don't mind this panel too much. He grabs Kashimo with his upper arm, but then proceeds to throw Kashimo up in the air with his lower right arm. And what is this Sukuna drawing here? Oh my god, he's like one of those old ass action figures that are like rubber that you can stretch. And he's got a tiny ass head. He looks like a Cartoon Network character. And by the speed lines, we for sure know that he is flying up in the air. The reflection in the eye panel's not all that bad. And he gets waffled again. As the blood rains down on Sukuna, you are lucky to be the first to die at the hands of my original form in the modern era. I don't think that's something Sukuna would say. Oh, but look, his mouth belly does catch some of the blood. And he looks happy too. I guess this is Sukuna trying to aura farm like Jinwoo or something like that. As he says, next. And that's the end of the chapter. Now, for part 2, I thought he was going to go a bit further, when in reality, all he did was finish the Kashimo fight, which ended the same way Gege's ended, but in a dramatically worse fashion. There's no character moments for Kashimo. There's no conversation that lends to Sukuna's character later on. It's no acknowledgement of power. It doesn't really resonate with any of the themes. If this is supposed to be something that remedies the original manga, why start here if you're not going to improve on anything and just remove things from the story? You're supposed to enhance these things. The truth is, the things that he didn't include were pretty important to the story, or at least for Sukuna's character. Maybe that's just me as a Sukuna fan that thinks that. This was definitely a chapter of all time. If I had to rate it, I'd say it's better than the first part, but that bar was set incredibly low. Chapter 1, I'll be nice and say 3 out of 10. I'd like to hear what your rating on the chapter as a whole was. What'd you think of part 2? Like and subscribe, all that good stuff. And until next time, stay normie, stay weeb, shit even in between is fine. Until next time, peace.